Today I'm going to be talking about my Make 9 challenge and sewing plans for 2022. My name is Erin. This is Life by Design. Let's get into it. For those of you that might not know, the Make 9 challenge is kind of a sewing challenge where you make 9 pieces a year, where you commit to making 9 pieces a year. And they can be 9 patterns, 9 clothes, 9 knitting projects, self-drafted projects, sewing, embroidery, whatever. As long as it's semi-related to the sewing, handmade clothing world. Fashion world, whatever. Last video, I went into detail about some of my goals, and one of them was to do this challenge as a personal development goal and to increase my sewing skills. So, yeah, this is the deep dive into that. How I'm breaking down the challenge is like this. There's nine pieces that you're supposed to make. So 3 projects are going to be really simple and easy, stuff that I've either done before or slightly want to improve upon, things like that. The next 3 pieces are going to be more challenging, stuff that I either haven't done before or kind of can push me out of my comfort zone just a little bit. But the last three projects are going to be really challenging, hard projects, stuff that I've never done before, stuff that I really want to do but I'm terrified of. That's really like jumping outside of the comfort zone with a freaking parachute. Yes, I have some guidelines for this challenge. These are my personal guidelines. They don't go with the challenge at all. I actually did some research into the Instagram for the Make 9, and it looks like the person that originally ran it has stopped. So I don't know. But these are my personal guidelines. I only have 3. The first is they have to be things that either I need or that my kids need. So I can't just, randomly create a ball gown for the sake of creating a ball gown. I don't go to balls. They have to fit within my capsule wardrobe plan, and I will have a video of that later, all about my capsule wardrobe plans and what I plan to do and things like that. And finally, they have to be made with as many recycled items as possible, or recycled fabric as possible, or they have to be from my own personal current stash of fabric. I'm only giving myself one project where I purchase new fabric. I can purchase some odds and ends, but not a lot. Anyway, on to the projects. The first one is I'm going to be making my own Tailors hams. And this was inspired by another video I've seen, which I will link down below, where she created her own patterns and she made her own Tailors hams. Tailors hams are used to help steam and iron really hard things, especially a lot of curved things. And I'm a curvy lady, so there's going to be a lot of seams where you can't get to with a flat ironing board. You need something more curved. So I'm going to be making 3 Tailors hams. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be hand sewing them or using one of my beautiful sewing machines. I'm quite terrified of my sewing machines for some reason. I don't know why. They're gorgeous. That gorgeous thing. Her name is Sweetie. She's my singer. She's a hand crank. So more control. The hand crank's over here. I love her a lot. I got her really cheap at a Danish thrift store. My other sewing machine that I have is this one, and her name is Helga. I bought her off of Facebook marketing. She works, but she's got little kinks, so we gotta work on that. So if I do end up sewing, it'll most likely be with Sweetie. Oh, she's just gorgeous. Is she not gorgeous? I'm terrified of hand sew or machine sewing for some reason, and I like hand sewing. I think it's a control thing. So the Tailors hams is going to be made from this beautiful tartan wool. Look at, oh, that's just, that's gorgeous. And this plain old cotton, muslin or whatever, on one side. Yeah, so I just, is that not gorgeous? Oof, Outlander vibes right there. Yeah. The second easy project that I will be making are duffel bags for my boys. They need new gym bags for school. And I bought this dinosaur fabric at a Danish fabric store. It was the last bit on a bolt, so it was really cheap. And my kids like dinosaurs, and they're it's a T-Rex skateboarding. I mean, come on now. So I'm pretty sure I have enough to make 2 duffel bags out of this, because I think it's 2 meters and 2.5 meters. I'm not quite sure. I should have enough for this, and possibly either a t-shirt or maybe some sweatpants. I haven't decided, but I know I'm gonna make the duffel bags, and that's what it'll be made out of. Sidetrack. I'm not like a complete beginner to the sewing world, but I'm still quite relatively new. And learning what sewing terms is hard enough, like what certain things is, what that stitch is called, whatever. But not only do I have to learn it in English, I have to also learn it in freaking Danish, which it's double the. I swear to God, I quit half the time. I'm making up words and calling it what I think it should be, because I don't want to learn either one. Sidetrack. And the third simple project is my oldest son loves to cook, and he loves to be in the kitchen. So I'm going to make him an apron. The ones that you can buy at the stores here have this like Velcro in the back here, and that really bothers his neck, and he's kind of skin sensitive with certain things, so that really bothers him. So I'm gonna make him a new one, and one where he can almost put it on himself, where he won't need a lot of help putting it on. I'm not sure how I want to make that pattern, because he can't tie a bow. So we'll see. What is my neighbor doing? Okay, now getting on to the more difficult ones. The first one is I found this tablecloth. It is a circular tablecloth at the thrift store in Denmark. It's gonna make an awesome circle skirt. It's going to make an awesome circle skirt. And it's very red, white, and blue, so very patriotic. So I have to do it before the 4th of July, because I think this year I might hold a 4th of July party. I am not sure. So I like it. And I've had it for quite a while, and I keep saying, I'll make a circle skirt out of it, but I've been terrified, so this will push me out of my damn comfort zone. Okay. And that's all I have for fabric. I don't know what I'm going to make the apron out of yet. I'm going to need my son's input and possibly Instagram's help, so follow me on Instagram for that. I've realized doing videos, I say quite a lot. The 5th project that I want to do is to make a vinterbelning robe and towel set. Every year, starting I think in October or September, I start to go to, it's the vinterbelning season or winter bathing season. And I love it. It's such a dopamine rush. Absolutely love it. But the robe I currently have, it doesn't actually wrap around my hips. I got some big old hips. So I want to have a robe that completely covers my hips and is warm and takes a bit away from the water. And I want a towel set to come with it, because after you go in the cold water, you go into the sauna, and then you do that a couple of times until you're done. So I want to have a towel that I can sit on in the sauna, whatever. The 6th project that I'm going to be attempting is to knit a scarf or a hat. I have never knitted before. I've crocheted before, very poorly, according to my grandmother, but never knitted. And knitting in Denmark is huge. Well, all over Scandinavia it's huge. But there are some specific vintage items that are knitted that I would love to have, but I don't want to wear 60, 70-year-old wool, A, because I don't think it's made in my size, and B, I'm afraid it would disintegrate with how poorly I wash my clothes. So I'm a little terrified of wearing vintage wool and knit things. I would love to if I could find a really well-made one, but I would also like to learn to knit, especially because I want to learn how to knit socks, because the socks in Denmark suck. They don't last like more than 3 months. It's awful. So I will be hopping off into the world of knitting, I hope. Now, the last 3 projects are all kind of the same thing. They're creating basic blocks. And a basic block, or I guess it's called a sloper, is like a foundation pattern that's used to make all other patterns for clothing. Once you've made like your basic block, you can literally alter it to make any clothing you want. I saw these after watching the Closet Historians channel, where she makes a lot of her own clothing, like self-pattern drafting. And I want to do that because my body does not fit with most mass-produced clothing. I have broad shoulders, I have a large bust, I have a small waist, I have large hips, I have thick thighs, and my hip ratio, like my hip to waist ratio is like, my waist is a very short waist. So combine all that, nothing really fits. So I plan to make my own shirt bodice basic block, a skirt basic block, and a pant basic block. And creating all of these is going to help with all my future sewing projects when I create my own wardrobe, which is why I want to make them this year before I dive deep into other clothing, because I don't want to make a mock-up every time I get a new pattern and see if it fits and then make alterations and make more mock-ups and waste fabric like that. It's not something I personally want to do. I feel guilty as hell doing it. So that's just not for me. So that's why I plan to do it this way. I think the Make 9 challenge is definitely going to help me improve my sewing skills over this next year. And I'm excited to learn more techniques and hop out of my comfort zone, use my sewing machines more than my hand sewing, learning knitting, getting my basic blocks out of the way. I'm really excited for this. I'm not going to do a whole lot of extra sewing, but I want to say like I won't do a lot of extra sewing, but I know I probably will if there's anything. You get sucked into like those Pinterest and TikTok embroidery things, and all you want to do is embroider every piece of your clothing. I'm going to try to push that off till next year, but we'll never know. On that note, I will say thank you for watching. I post new videos every Friday. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy my videos. Oh, that sounds so weird to say. And remember to live life by design and not by default. Hi.